I can send you that list that Ted sent me. My screen, or you just?
No, it's just you right now.
All right.
Okay. I can't hear Ted at all. It looks like you're talking, Ted.
I'm here now, so.
All right, I'm on my desktop at home.
Okay, hi there. All right. Lance is having a little bit of an issue, but we are, okay, so we are recording. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and start. Everybody, thank you for coming on and joining my call, my monthly call for everybody. We have Todd and Michelle from Continental Graphics on the phone with us, or on our conference call, because they have a presentation, and I went through this a little bit with Todd last week in Vegas. So did Mary and Charlene. There's a lot of information they have that is really good information, so make sure you're listening up if you could, because this is real important for today and for a lot of things that we deal with. Todd, Michelle, welcome.
Thank you.
So if you want, go ahead and share whenever you're ready to share your.
Okay, I'm just gonna give a preference on what we're doing. So basically, I'm Todd Molzon. I'm with the Vice President of Continental Graphics. Michelle is a National Sales Manager. We just hired her on board. You used to deal with Marcel from our company. He's no longer with the company, so we're excited to help you guys out. You can either reach out to myself or Michelle at any time. And I know Ted has given a list with our phone numbers and everything, but if you ever need any information, just please get a hold of us. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint presentation that goes through all of our products. I know you use panorama film and you're using our walk-in wall right now, but there's a lot of features that Charlene and Mary and Ted noticed in our meeting last Tuesday that you guys don't know anything about or don't use. So I'm going to share my screen now and start the presentation, and we'll start going through. And please, if anybody has any questions at any time, just interrupt and ask. It's the best time to do it as we're actually in the process of doing things. So bear with me here. Oh, wait, I need to share first. There we go. Share my. So click on share my screen, Ted, right?
Yes, go ahead and share your screen. You should be able to share.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Now I need to bring this up and beginning. Now you guys can see all these people on the side here?
Yes.
Okay, I want to get rid of that. How do I get rid of that?
You can't get rid of that. I'm sorry. You should be able to hide the thumbnails, maybe.
Yeah, I had to put it down to the bottom there. So,
okay, perfect. Yeah.
So what we have here, we're Continental. We're based. Actually, our headquarters are in Switzerland. We are based in Statesville, North Carolina. That's our shipping location for all of our materials. And these are the products that we currently are selling. We have 3 different brands of outside mount window perf. I know you don't sell our window perf right now, but we really love to talk to you about that. Our panorama line is I'm just going to give you a quick overview of this, and then we'll go into specifics on each product. The panorama line is a polymeric window perf in 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, and 50-50 perf patterns. Our Innova line is and that panorama is a 3-year product line. The Innova is a 2-year product line, and that again is available in all 4 hole patterns. And then we have a new product called Panorama 1, which is a 1-year product, and it is available in a 75-25 pattern. And that is also a monomeric product. We have 2 different overlamps, cast and I protect. Those are for the outside mount materials. We have an inside mount window films, both clear 80/20 and film 80/20. The clear is a full adhesive window mount, and the film is a tape, and that's what you guys sell a lot of, and that's use the panorama tape. We have a product called Panorama White, which is a more of a decor product that is designed for when you're, like, say, a situation where you're in a trade show booth and you want to have, instead of looking at black and seeing out a lot, you can actually just have white interior. It's kind of a very unique product. We don't sell a lot of it, but we'll touch on it. Event carpet, I showed Ted out in Vegas that it's a 3.2 meter product. It's something that you probably will never look at, but we'll talk about it. We have a carpet tape for that. Court Wrap is a product that I think some of you know about, and Court Wrap Protect, ITAC Plus and ITAC Protect. Those are basically the same products. The major difference is the Court Wrap is a product designed to be walked on, and that has an insurance policy that is available for that. The ITAC Plus is for when people are doing counter mats, and again, we will go through a lot more, a lot of pictures, a lot of things that you can actually see how things are actually used. We have a brand new product called Extreme. This is for extreme temperature conditions. This product goes on, we say, from 0 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. But in my presentation, I'll show you, we had 27 below wind temperatures here with a 55 below wind temperature, and it went on just fine. Our number one product is Walk-On, which you guys sell a lot of, and then we have a new product called Deco S. So with that, let's go to the panorama. Excuse me. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is polymeric film. One thing that we do that's different, and I wanted to touch base on this, which I talked to Ted and Mary and Charlene about, is the fact that all of our products are truly co-extruded. We have a white and a black film versus some people where they take a white film and they put a black adhesive on it. And being out in Vegas and the West Coast where it gets rather warm, if you put like our 8x8 samples on the window in Phoenix or whatever, and it's 100 degrees outside, you pull it off a month later, you're gonna permanently stain that glass. So you don't have that issue with our products because we use an optically clear adhesive, and we use a truly co-extruded white and black film. The Panorama is a 3-year product. Again, all 3 patterns. Easily removable up to 6 months, but this has a 3-year warranty on it. And one nice thing about all of our products except one, which I'll tell you about, and when we get to that, is everything is available with solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV inks. Because we have a dual liner on everything, like let's say a Clear Focus, they would have a solvent product that is a single liner versus a dual liner. If you get into the latex and the UV inks, what happens to that is when you have only one liner, the ink will actually fill the holes. When you peel off the back, you will not have holes anymore. You'll actually have a solid ink will fill that in. So all of our products are done with solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV printable. Now, these are some of the high-end things that you can do with the Panorama product. These are all 3-year outdoor samples. Again, if you have any questions, just pipe in.
So what did you say the liner is on that product?
We have a dual liner. It's basically, it is a, so when we punch the product, it has a liner on it, and then we add a secondary liner after we punch it. So that gives you a thickness. Can you guys see me too, or you just, no. Okay. All right, because I'm actually doing hand signals here, but I guess I don't have to do that. But what it does is you add a secondary liner. It gives you just that much distance so that when, like, for instance, UV ink, when you put UV ink on a single liner, some people actually punch the material, then add a liner without the holes in it. It's so thin that you will actually clog those holes with the UV ink. It'll actually fill them in. So all of our products have dual liner. Does that answer your question?
Yes, so you just have one product for all ink.
Right, so you don't have to have different SKUs for different different products versus our competitors. They have, one product you can only do a UV, and in some products you can do UV and latex, some just solvent. So there's a lot of printers nowadays are getting into solvent. They have solvent and latex, or solvent and UV printers.
Yep.
So they can have one product in their storage, and then if they need to switch it to a new printer, they can actually just do that.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So the Innova product is our 2-year product line. It's a monomeric, same hole punch patterns. Then we go to, again, 6 months, a 2-year product. Very, very simple. I'll just go through some samples here. You can see with the 80% printable film, you get great color with this. And I know, Ted, you were going to try to get me a copy of your new catalog. Did those come out?
Not yet.
Okay.
Starting on the 7th, actually, in a couple days.
Okay. Just looking at your old catalog, I know you don't use any of our perforations, but would love to have you guys start using that if that's something you're looking for. This is a unique opportunity where someone put actually an outside mount on the inside of the window, and I think this is actually in Florida. So when you're inside the area where you're getting on the thing in the building, you can actually read the graphic, and as you get outside, it kind of disappears on you. So it's kind of a reverse way of using an outside mount on the inside. So another example, I'm just going to go through a lot of pictures here just so you can think about it.
So the only difference is that that's a 2-year?
2-year monomeric versus polymeric, 2-year and 3-year. Yeah, those are the only differences.
And keep in mind, the whole pattern, guys, is something that if you didn't know about, we didn't have really available, or we didn't think we had available to us. So the 80-20 and the 75-25, which are about ready to go on now.
Yeah, the 80-20, basically, just so you guys know, we have a company, in our headquarters in Statesville, North Carolina, we have a secondary company called IPS. We actually punch the material in North Carolina. So we are able to do different patterns. And when everybody else was coming out with Window Perfect, it basically came out 60-40. Then they went to 50-50 for vehicles. We actually were the first ones to do a 70-30 pattern. And then when everybody started to catch up to that 70-30, we actually did an 80-20 pattern. Again, we were the first to do that because we have the punching capabilities right in-house. And with the 80-20, if you look at one of our at our trade show booths, if you ever get to the booth, we actually have all 4 patterns right next to each other with the same image, and it gets dramatically more and more color because you have more film to actually print on. So recommend talking to your customers if you're looking for a real good color pop to go to a 80-20 pattern. So the new product that we just came out with, it's called Panorama 1. This is a 1-year product. It's a 75-25 because it goes right between the 80-20 and the 70-30. Monomeric, 12-month warranty, 6 months removal with no residue. So again, solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV printable. Again, some examples of what you can do with this film. Now we get into our inside mount, full adhesive inside mount window films. Now what this is actually a clear film with an adhesive on it. And what you do, this is the only one that is pretty much a UV only because you have to have white ink. What you do is you do a reverse CMYK image, you do a flood coat of white, and then you do a flood coat of black. And that gives you the illusion of having the same as the white, black, co-extruded films with the holes in it, but you're then able to put it on the inside of the window. What happens now then is you're able to, in a lot of instances, get away from a lot of the sign regulations because depending on where you are, you obviously have to check your own regulations. But when you have anything outside that, the cities, the counties, whatever, are really clamping down on what you can put outside. But when it's on the inside, the regulations allow for different things that you can do. So you don't have to put a laminate on it because it's on the inside of your building. It's easy install because you can put it on at different temperatures. You can put it on in the rain because you're actually doing the install. And I do have some samples here. This is our trade show booth with the clear on the outside. And this allows you to do like a co-branding. instead of having just a solid black, you can actually do like an 80%, 90% of, like, say, the McDonald's logo or the Continental Graphics logo. So when you're still looking out, you can still get branding opportunities. So this is a very unique thing. You can actually put a push-pull in, out, and you can actually put the graphics on the inside. You can actually do a full CMYK image on the inside also. So it gives you an opportunity to do some different things. And when you get inside, you can actually see you can see the reflections on the windows, and that'll show a little bit more on our film product, which you guys use a lot of. This next slide is one that, if you guys need something like this for a presentation, this is probably our premier slide to show what happens with window film. This is the outside of this building. They actually have walk-in wall on the outside of the building, and they actually have, this is the clear on the inside mount. Now, when you go inside the building looking out, that's what you see. People don't quite understand window film a lot of times. This shows you exactly what window film can do for you. So very, very good slide to have if you're looking for something like this. Now, panorama film. This is what you guys call panel film. Our branding is actually panorama on everything. So the new catalog will have it as panorama film, just so you know. This is a product that is a PET, PVC-free product. It's available in 70, 30, and 80/20. It is non-adhesive, completely non-adhesive, so it can be used for office partitions, things like that. A lot of people hang it inside because there's no adhesive. And then what you do is you actually use the panorama film, the tape on that, and actually apply a 1-inch tape on the top and the bottom. And as you see on the picture there, we recommend putting a black strip so that it almost disappears as you're putting it out on the window. If you would actually put that tape over the top of those tubes of color, you would actually see a color shift between that. So to steer away from that, we recommend that you put the 1-inch black bar on the printed side, so that when you put the tape on it, you actually don't see that image. It disappears, just like in that previous shot where you're looking out. You don't see the black tape. So now this is where you can actually see if they're inside mount or outside mount. You see on the red head there, you see the reflections of the cars in it. That is because that is on the inside of the window, and the reflections are showing because you can see those graphics are all on the inside. Here's another opportunity. You can see a car driving by, the 7-Eleven image, and also on the Starbucks images. So basically, what you can tell quickly by looking at what's inside and what outside. This is to show you the difference between panorama film and just our regular panorama 80/20 films. You can see the reflection on the right-hand side, but it's still very, very vivid. These are both 80/20 patterns, so you get really, really good color pop, and you still definitely can see through the product. Next, this is the panorama white. This is a monomeric white over white film. It's really designed for decor products. You're not going to sell a lot of it, but it's very, very unique. I've had some situations where people want to, they want to see the white image versus a black image, and this is kind of what you use that for. This is an example what you can see from our trade show booth. You can still see through it on the right-hand side there, and you still can do some branding and some images with the front side film.
So it's just white on both sides?
It's white on both sides, but it still does have an 80/20 pattern, pole pattern in it. So you still can see through it, but it just is not as, when it's black, it just basically disappears on you. So it's just kind of really a decor product. Event carpet, we won't spend a lot of time on this. Then this is the 3.2, 126-inch wide. It's designed for trade show floors. It's designed for direct or transfer dye sub, latex or UV. It really, really is kind of a throwaway product. If you're going to do an event outside in a parking lot and put a easy up 10x10 pop-up, this is this comes up to 126, so you can do a full graphic on the bottom. As you stake it into the parking lot or whatever, you can actually tape it down or put it down. It's just to give you some branding on the floor, and then you can throw it away. It's a very relatively inexpensive product, so it allows you to go to that. these are a couple different products. The left-hand side obviously was our trade show booth. That was a backlit graphic, and then I transferred the image directly onto the floor so you can actually walk on that. That was done via UV. And the one on the right there was just some large graphics printed on that. So, and it does really show a color pop. This is HP latex samples on that material. You can get a lot of color pop with this product. The sample that I think I did send, I think, Charlene, you have one, correct? We're kind of out of these samples right now, so I didn't send one in every packet. But if it's something that you have a use of, or someone, you can get a hold of Michelle and I, and we can get you a sample. Okay, court wrap. This has been around for a while. This is designed basically for courts. Anytime where you're going to be walking on it, any situation where you're going to be repositioning or actually washing the adhesive. This is a washable adhesive. How I normally do this, demo on this, is I take the court rat sample, turn it on its basically at a 45-degree angle, and leave one edge of the graphic hanging off of a smooth surface table. And I tell them to slightly pull down, and you apply it on there and try to pull the graphic off. You will never pull it off. But if you pull straight up, then it pops right off. So we had this product for a long time with the adhesive. It's ASTM certified, non-slip, R10, solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV printable. But you do need to put the laminate, two-part component system. You need to put the laminate on it to actually get it so that it's a non-slip product. And these are some examples of what you can do with that product. These are like you're putting on a tile. Any smooth surface, this works well. And people say, because the tack is so loose, people say, well, it's not going to stick. This is actually an image from Europe where they had a wheelchair league playing, I don't know what game it was. I don't think it's basketball, but it's almost like
rugby.
Okay.
Rugby.
Okay. But you can see that they're tearing it up there. They're marring it and marking the top of that. So it's not coming off. If you wanted to pull that off, you walk out there and you grab a corner, pull up, it's going to come up completely clean. And the beauty of this product is, as you're putting it down, if you normally put a regular pressure sensitive adhesive, if you guys are a wrap company, you know that. If somebody's putting a pressure sensitive and they drop it in the dirt or the grass, it's pretty much done. This product, you take lukewarm water, you wash the adhesive side, you gently push all the dirt and debris off of it, and then it comes back to its original tack. So it's a very, very unique product to us. These are some other pictures of where they're playing some games on the court, where they're putting the logos on with the court wrap. You can actually do, NBA actually did use it for this last All-Star game in some uses. Okay.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Yep.
I want to make sure everybody understood that's a washable adhesive, and you can actually go back, wash it, go back, put it back on, different things like that. I thought that was very unique. I didn't know about this as far as the adhesive goes, and I doubt most of you didn't either. So I was expecting to have a lot more, oh my gosh, that's great. But I didn't get that. I know we're on mute, but still.
What's the longevity of it?
Longevity in what respect? Being down on the surface, or? Yeah,
will it last a year, 3 years?
It really depends on the traffic that you put on it. Obviously, this graphic is up right now. When you're rolling on it, you're gonna end up destroying it. It will last probably at least a year, depending on what it is. But it's very hard to say that, and I will go through that a little bit later here with some more examples of the product. Basically, what we had court wrap, but when I told people that this is great for Ford F-150s that are aluminum bodied and you can't actually put a magnet on them because they're aluminum, people didn't quite understand putting a court product on their truck or putting it on a counter mat. This is actually the best counter mat material you can find, because let's say you have a counter mat that's got foam on it. Somebody needs to mute there. We're getting feedback. basically what happens is if you take a Coke and you dump it on a counter mat like at a McDonald's, you're going to basically throw that counter mat away because the foam gets saturated with Coca-Cola. You can't really clean it up. You're going to clean up your counter, but you're going to throw your counter mat away. This, you clean it up, clean the counter mat, and then you clean your graphic. You put it back down, and it's back to its original tack. A lot of companies, again, this has the laminate more for stability than it does for walkability on it and non-slip, but this is really designed for things like this. So these are examples of actual magnets and some vinyl lettering, but you can replace that with this, like the Sutton Plumbing. That's actually on a Ford. You're not going to be able to put a magnet on there. That's regular vinyl cut graphics, but this would work great because you can actually save the liner. You put it back on the liner and put it behind the seat. I actually had one county sheriff's department. What they've done is they've actually supplied every officer with a logo on the outside that has the police logo on it. But what they do is they give it to them for their private vehicle in case there's a major event, a catastrophe, and they have to take their private vehicle to a site. They can actually pull it out of their trunk and brand their car instantaneously and then drive. This does not come off. I actually put it on my vehicle, ran it on it for about 8 weeks, through car washes with brushes. It doesn't come off unless you want to take it off.
How is the adhesive different? How is that different?
It's actually a rubberized adhesive. It's patented. It's our product. No one else has it. It will not migrate. When we get to our walk-in wall, I would not put that on a marble floor. I would not put that on a granite floor because adhesive, just like the window film, if you've got black adhesive, glass is porous and it will absorb. Granite, marble is porous, and it will allow the adhesive to migrate into that, and you're replacing granite. This, if you look at the samples that you have, if you pull that off, it doesn't feel like it's going to stick, but it will stick. Put a rounded corner on it, like on the extreme sample that you have there, and it's not going to come off unless you want it to come off. But when it comes off clean. I would walk into a Lamborghini dealer and stick this on $1 million car, no problem, because it's not going to mar the finish. In fact, we have some companies that are actually using this for vehicle markings for auto dealerships, because they can put it not only in the glass, they can put it on the vehicle itself. They put this, it's $29,900, whatever, blah blah blah. They put the price on it, but as they're going to go then on a test drive, they can actually put the numbers right on the door, and they don't have to take it off. I mean, the drive with the numbers on it, they can actually take that off, the year and things like that. So some examples of what you can do with it, not only just on vehicles, but any smooth surface. The iTac and the Court Wrap really require a smooth surface for this. You can see this is a vending machine, a little close up there. And actually, the Toblerone one is actually a window. You're not going to see through it, but it goes on any smooth surface, and it works extremely, extremely well. Now, talking about Extreme, this is our product that is brand new. It's a 4mm smooth vinyl. It's got a very similar adhesive to our walk-in wall. We do some a little bit chemical differences to that, so it's not as much as we put on the walk-in wall, but it's very similar to that. What that allows you to do is to put it on at 0 to 122 degrees. We like you to remove it at 50 to 86, but it's great for things like hockey dasher boards, graphics on things that you need extreme temperatures. It's a 3-year product, solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV. This is where you could put this on directly, not have to worry about a material falling off. The picture on the right there was actually done in Australia. They put those on and it lasts an entire season through 100+ degree temperatures, and the dasher boards on the left would be great for that. This is a product, I actually took this out at my house when we had the -27. I put the graphic out there at -27 for an hour, and it curled up like you see on the right. I forgot to take a picture on my phone, screenshot at 27, but when I finally did, it was 24. I applied that 1 hour later onto a window, and it applied perfectly. It stuck very, very well. I was more worried about the vinyl itself cracking and disintegrating versus the adhesive. But what happened on this was it went on absolutely flawless. It is a great product. Any questions on the Extreme? It is really a great product. You're not going to use it much on the West Coast, unless you get up into Portland or way up north where you might get some snow, or up in the mountains. But it's a great product, and it also goes on in a lot of heat too. Now, our bread and butter, walk and wall. You guys sell this. You sell a lot of it. It's ASTM certified, both wet and dry, non-slip. It carries an R12 certification on the scale of basically R6 to R12. It is the highest rating you can get on the European R scale. Solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV printable, no lamination required. This stuff goes on anything. I call it the duct tape of the industry. It goes anywhere. I know you guys know that it's available. We sell this. You guys stock it in our 82-foot rolls. We also have 164s available on special purchases. This is some of the things you can do with the walk and wall. Very conformable, as you see in these pictures, down into the cracks. This was at the SGI shows. Actually put it on like that. It conforms awesome. Here's some more graphics showing. Yep. Go ahead. Did someone have a question? Okay.
Can you put it on carpet?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the pictures I'll show you here shortly. This is a subway station over in Europe. This lasted about, asking about longevity, this lasted about 4 or 5 months, just with constant traffic on it. And here's some on carpet, on a show where they actually rolled some carpet out, and they're actually doing like a marathon, and they put the logo on the carpet. This is a perfect example of what you can do in longevity. This is a company that actually contour cut it, put it on a very, very disgusting building that's painted. You can see it's not a real smooth surface. It's got a lot of flaws in it. A lot of the concrete seaming is falling apart. I know these guys very well. It's been up for 2 years in Wisconsin. It's been through, now this is the second winter, starting the second winter, or ending the second winter. Hopefully it's done quickly. I have a Canadian distributor that put this on very similar to this. They went from one building to another. It was a painted cinder block building like this. They put a temporary sign up, and it's now on its 5th winter. So if you're walking on it, you're going to get 3 to 6 months out of it. If you're putting it on a wall or something where you're not walking on it, you're going to get years and years out of it. And it sticks extremely well. This is on concrete. This is another example on carpet. Here's another one that's been walked on a lot because it's right out in the main traffic area, but it's a directional to put people into the McDonald's.
So is the adhesive just a high tack?
It's a high tack, but it's removable. It really will come off cleanly, up to 6 months probably, really depending on the traffic.
How is it to install being high tack?
Well, it's very easy to install. When we did our trade show booth, it's a 20 by 20. We're not installers. Basically, we have 2 people on the roll, 1 on each side of it, and then someone on their knees, basically laying it down. It comes 48 inches wide. And basically, I usually do that. I'm swimming it basically out. I just lay it down. And we did a 20 by 20 floor with overlap seams in about an hour. Matching up the seams, matching up the graphics. It's got a fabric inner liner. If you put this on a carpet, a woman with stilettos, it's not going to punch through this. It's okay. So basically, it really goes on anything. So this, again, just some samples, pictures of putting it on concrete. This is one of my better ones. I like this one because you see that the concrete is quite cracked. And it allows you to have the graphics right on it. It also sticks to high-density polyethylene, like a porta potty. Some of the garbage cans that are these high-density polyethylene that will not, nobody has a product that sticks to it. This sticks to it just fine.
So this will go, it's conformable. It will go on like cinder block and bricks and things like that?
Correct. It's not as conformable as like a vehicle graphic, something you're going to stretch it. It's not going to stretch, but it will conform. It's going to conform to that crack. You're going to conform to that sidewalk. The first picture of that, where it actually went down into this one, you can actually see it going into the seams. But
does the installation require post heat?
No, not at all. No heat. We don't like heat on this, actually. If you're going to try to pull it up, and basically you don't want the adhesive to liquefy, and heating will liquefy it. If you're pulling it off, you want to pull it back, or remove it back against itself at a basically 180 degrees. You want to pull it backwards, and if there is any residue left on it, you want to dab it with the adhesive itself. Like basically take a sticker off and you dab the sticker on it to pull any residue off. That's how we recommend you take it off. And there are some citric-based cleaners that you can do if there is any residue left. So they're non-toxic, they're environmentally friendly cleaners, citric-based. Basically, it's called delaminine or limonene. I'll send some information to that to Ted, so that you guys can have that. So, again, you can run on this. You don't have to worry about slipping on it. There's another example of putting it directly on the concrete in a trade show booth. That's exactly how we do it. Wall murals. Now we have a customer, GE, their corporate headquarters. This product's been around for about 12 years now. They actually put it on 8 years ago, actually probably 9 years now. And they did a wall mural on it. It works great. You can actually not have to do a butt seam on this. You actually can put the product over the top of itself. And you guys sell a lot of this material, so it works really well. You can go directly from floors to the walls, right over that plastic edging right there. That's a terrible picture, I apologize, but it actually, you can go from concrete to walls, to wallboard, to painted, all these different things. This is the best example of what that is. If you look at the top picture up there, that's the hall. And the bottom picture is all walk-in wall. Not only was the floor done to make it look like it's a cobblestone, but all of the walls and the windows, that's entirely walk-in wall. So this is an example of what like maybe a church could do to make it look like a scene like this, where there, it's a shops or something like that, or anything like where you need to have going, and you don't want to worry about surface to surface, putting different products on the walls, different products on the floor, I literally could go up in the ceiling on this too. So it goes on everything. So basically that's what we do. So any questions?
So if I have a customer who uses a lot of forklifts and stuff, I haven't had any material obviously stand up to that. How long do you think it would last with your material?
On the walk-in wall, not very long at all. It's not designed for something where you're going to put tires. You shouldn't be driving on this in spinning of fork wheels.
Okay.
You're looking at a Graphics or a asphalt art for something like that. But it's also 5 times the cost. So we did an event or like a Six Flags event location like that, and they wanted to do it, and they were going to put a asphalt art out. It's 5 times the expense. What we allowed them to do is actually put 3 seasonal brandings on it, and they laid it down. They printed 3 times and put it down, and it allowed them to here in Six Flags in Chicago, they have the, the Fright Fest in October, and they, they're doing all different things, so they can do different branding with it and still come out less expensive installing it multiple times. So is it designed for forklifts? Absolutely not. Do not. It won't last. But you can put it on a building outside through 5 Canadian winters and it'll stick just fine. So that's why when everybody says, well, how long does it last? It really depends on where it's going and what the use is. There's really no defined, it's going to last, 1 month, it's going to last 6 months, it's going to last 6 years.
I would interject, just having dealt with different flooring products over the years, that I would also say where you put it in a warehouse. I think a forklift just driving over it's not going to be a problem. But where you would have the problem, and Todd alluded to it pretty clearly, is if that forklift stops and turns a wheel or something, obviously that's going to rip up the product. But if it's directional and a forklift is just rolling over it, I don't think that would be a problem. I mean, it's certainly not going to shift and move. It's just really when that forklift stops, you've got all that weight grinding into the material. It's definitely going to rip them.
Good point. Exactly. So this directional, it will work wonderful for that. A lot of people use this for, emergency, like spatial stuff. You got a piece of equipment, you can't go within these yellow lines. So people print the yellow lines, yellow, red lines, and they put, informational stuff around equipment where this is a zone where you're not going to, it'll work just fine for that. But if it's like Michelle says, if forklift runs over it straight, it'll last. But if you stop on it and you put it in your shipping area where you're spinning around in circles, all that, no, you're going to tear it to pieces.
Now this is latex and UV.
Solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV. And there's no lamination required. That's literally, you can walk into any sign shop with this product and lead with this product because they don't need a laminator. You can contour cut it, just use a 45-degree blade, and it's any format of ink usage that they have on, other than aqueous. We don't have any aqueous products. So anything that's aqueous, we don't have any products for that. But any industrial level solvent, eco-solvent, latex, or UV, we work just great.
Any other questions that anybody might have? No, but nobody else? Okay. Todd, Michelle, thank you so much for your time and going through all your products and everything. We really do appreciate that. Most of this, if not all of this, should be available special order if it's not in our catalog. I know that we don't have a lot of the Continental Graphic material in our catalog, but that we still have it available to us. That's why I wanted them to go through this, because there's a lot of things in here that we could probably get our hands on that we probably don't, and tell customers we don't have anything to go against, for instance, in the 80-20 window material. So I know that that's something that I didn't really necessarily know about a lot of, but now I do. So thank you again, Todd, Michelle. Do appreciate your time and everything. And if you do have any other information to send along, please do send it to me, and I'll make sure everybody else in the team gets it. Okay.
Ted, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank
Very
you
welcome.
Each of you guys for being here and your attention. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Any questions? Get a hold of
My team, stay on the phone or stay on here with me, okay?
All right. Take good care.
Sorry, Todd, what were you going to say?
I'm just, how do I get out of here? I want to go, I'm not in your meeting anymore, so.
Yeah, so you just unshare or go down to the share button. You already done that. And you should be able to say leave meeting. Michelle, do you see that? Todd?
I see a stop video. Oh, leave meeting. Yes. Bottom right.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Okay, everybody, thank you again for being on here and for going through this. As I always do, I will make sure that you get a copy of this. a little bit later today. So if you want to go back through it, you can see what you might have missed. Want to introduce Charlene O'Rourke, who is our new Las Vegas rep. And then we also have Lance Freed, who is our new Portland rep. So they're both on here with their faces so you guys can see who they are and everybody. And I hope that I'm looking forward to working with both of them. I was able to work with Charlene last week a little bit. And I really see that we're going to be able to increase the volume of business we do from both those territories. Okay. A couple things that I have. Last month was a dismal month, as we all know. It was bad for just about everybody. Not everybody, I will say, not every territory, but boy, for our entire region, we ended up just a little over 102%. So I know that it was bad for a lot of things, but it just, wow, I couldn't believe that. Let's see here. What was the other thing I wanted to go through? Yes. Okay. So I will send this out to you, but they are going through audits in Tulsa, different things. One of the things that they went through, and I got an email on this morning, is contacting our franchises. Top franchises everybody should be talking to are Fast Signs, Speed Pro, Sign World, Sign Now, Image 360, and SBT. So those are the ones that those are the top. The other ones that you might see that are on there, if they're not part of this, you still want to contact them, but not nearly as much. You don't need to worry about them so much because they're a very small portion of our business. These 6 are the biggest, or 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So these are the ones that produce most of the franchises. If you did not contact them last month or the month before, you better be contacting them now, because what's going to happen is that if we don't do it, Tulsa will take them out of your numbers and you will be docked for everybody, including me. That's just to let you know, nationwide, that's a little bit over $18 million a year in business that we will lose. Okay? So we don't want to do that. Generally in our team, in our area, we're doing pretty good. It's not that big of a deal, but make sure that you're doing it. I separate the numbers out so that you guys can see them, make it very easy for you to do. And keep in mind, if it's not in goldmine, it didn't happen. So if you contacted them, but you didn't put a note in goldmine, guess what? It's showing up, and that's what Carl and everybody in Tulsa sees. Not a good thing, okay? Questions on that? All right, some of you, I sent out a list of the crafters that are being taken out of your numbers and everything else. If you have questions on that, or if anybody did not get an email and you think you have a crafter that needs to be taken care of from the crafting department, I need to know about it pretty quick. If it's a crafter that is taking up a lot of your time, or that is, it doesn't matter what it is, if they're a crafter, we should know about it and give the chance to see what we can do about that. Okay? Take them out of your numbers and take them away from having to contact them and work with them so much, because crafters can take a lot of time with, you know, on the phone and email and everything else. And we just don't want to have to deal with that. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Boy, this is easy. I'm sorry? What's that? Okay. Last thing is that the February reports just came out as far as your customer list. I will try to get that done today and send that out to you. I will say, you know, I appreciate you guys working on everything you do. Keep in mind, like I said, if you don't put notes into goldmine, like I said, it didn't happen. Make sure you're putting your notes into goldmine. The new level is between 12 and 20 contacts. Okay, per average per day. So I know that some of you didn't quite make it last month. I've already sent an email to most of you that didn't quite make it. It's no big deal. Make sure that you're doing your best, okay? I see that's all I have. Any questions on anything that I can help with? Real quick, I'm going to go ahead after questions, I'm going to have Charlene introduce herself, and I'm going to have Lance introduce himself. But any questions about anything right now?
So is Janet going to come out the list of whatever the customer's price in the systems?
Again, the pricing has already been done. You should have already been through your list with the exception of the naughty list. Everything else has been done. You guys should have been through that and called your customers and everything else. As she sent out an email, should be sometime this week.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just customers want to know what's their price, everything completely in their system.
Well, unfortunately, we've got a new price increase that happened from Avery that started on Friday. That was in that list that she sent to you guys. If you didn't go through that and send your customers their new pricing, you should have, except for the naughty list. That's the only other one.
Yeah, that's what I want to need.
Okay, and then there's a new price increase that will be happening in April. I sent an email to all of you about that. It's going to be pretty hefty too. Okay, Oracle. But that hasn't been done because they haven't sent us the information. I just found that out from Randy and people at Oracle. They gave me a call, so I made sure I let you all know about that. Okay. Questions? Okay. Charlene, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, a little bit of background maybe. About what you have as far as interest or experience in the sign industry.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene O'Rourke. I live in Las Vegas. In fact, I'm second generation born and raised in Las Vegas. Grew up here, graduated from high school, college, went off and actually was a cop, retired from Metro about 10, 12 years ago. Had our own sign shop here for about a year and a half, 2 years. Kind of fell into this job because I really like doing the sign and vinyl business, but I specifically really liked Fellers as a company. I liked how friendly everybody was. They treated us really well. Even though we bought all of our equipment from Grimco, Fellers was still the customer service I received just from everybody was great. And so I've done a little bit of outside sales since I retired. But so far what I've seen, I really, really enjoy it. Getting out, meeting people. And so hopefully, this will continue.
Thank you very much, Charlene. And Lance, can you introduce yourself, please? Can everybody?
All right, I'm, Lance Freed. I actually been on the lithographic side of this type of industry for almost 30 years. I used to work for Gans Inc., and I found out about this through one of my customers here locally in Salem. Like you guys, I've got I have a lot of information, but I'm learning a lot more with Fellers because I didn't do any wrap material. So this is actually new to me, but I actually really enjoy it. But anything else as far as like the window perf goes and stuff like that, it's pretty fascinating. And I was telling Ted earlier, I did meet these guys at ISGA this year in Vegas, who just did that presentation for us. They've got a lot of really unique products. But I did find out they are one of the only ones that do carry a 75-25 window perf, which when they demoed it was pretty cool. So that's about it.
Thank you very much, Lance. Appreciate that. Everybody, make sure if you haven't sent an email to them, just send an email saying hi. Keep in mind, Lance and Charlene, that everybody is here to help as much as they can. I believe I sent you all a GroupMe invitation. If not, Lance and Charlene, if you don't have the GroupMe or part of the GroupMe, I might not have.
Do you have a list? Sorry, Ted. Do you have also a contact list so that way, like I've talked to Chuck obviously in Boise a few times.
Right.
Wealth of information.
I'll talk to you offline about that. But yes, we do have a contact list, and I'll share that with you as well. You should. It's on the Dropbox, but I'll give it to you a little bit better way.
Oh, okay? There. Okay, I got it. We're good.
Okay. All right. Now, Kevin, are you still on? You are, but
yeah, I am. There you go. Sorry, I just had it muted.
That's okay. I got a question for you. Do you have access to your computer?
I do. Well, I'm sitting here.
Can I get you to share and go through I know that we use Streets and Trips, but I wanted Kevin to go through a little bit about using this in Google Maps as well. Are you able to do that, Kevin? I didn't talk to you about this. I do apologize.
Yeah, hold on. Talk about something else and let me get to that point.
Okay.
Hey, Ted?
Are you saying from your cell phone, Ted, or just from your laptop?
I'm sorry?
You're saying, by streets and with the streets and maps, are you saying being able to plot it on your cell phone?
Yes.
Just put it on, oh my gosh.
Yes. And that's why it's one of those things that I believe you can do it and directly transfer it to your cell phone and or laptop, either way, I believe.
Okay. I use Waze, just so you know, which is like,
yeah, right.
But I understand they're in a pickle right now with, Charlene, they're in a pickle with law enforcement right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're being sued by a couple of police departments, actually, because they're saying they don't like the people. It tells you where the police are.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on the news.
I couldn't believe it.
All right, Chuck, you have a question?
Yeah. Do you have a date on the Orifal increase? Is it the 1st of April?
Supposed to be the 1st of April, but I don't know exactly. That's not confirmed until they actually send us the list of what's basically, it's across the board. Everything is being increased, but until we actually get the list and start working on that list, I can't say 100% it's going to be the 1st of April. It may be the 2nd or the 3rd. I don't know.
Well, no, that's good enough for just alerting customers.
Right.
And I have a request.
Sure.
So on Friday, I was on the phone with a customer. I got 2 calls from Tulsa within a minute. And it's bad enough when you see that area code, but it's worse when you can't answer it.
Right.
But rarely, whoever's calling,
they don't leave a message.
Right.
Yeah.
I will throw that request out there.
Yes, I will do that. I have that same issue. I know that they, sometimes they're just trying to get things taken care of very quickly, and then they move on to the next one. But at the same time, there's no reason why they can't leave a message of who it is, so that we can call them back and try to help them out as quickly as possible.
And in that case, I could have gotten back to them in like 2 minutes.
Right. I get that. I will talk to them and see if they can't start leaving messages. I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
Okay, Chad, I'm ready.
All right, Kevin. Everybody, this is just an alternative to Streets and Trips. That's all it says. This is just an alternative so that you can use basically the same thing, but in a little bit, sometimes a little bit of an easier format. Kevin Arnold has been doing this for a long time, and he is very familiar on how to do this. So I wanted to make sure he at least showed us how to do it very quickly. Kevin, please go ahead.
All right, guys. Well, I'm new to the sharing thing, so let me I think you hit share.
Yeah, hit share.
And then where do I go from there? Oh. Sorry, I gotta bear with me. Okay. So
Hold on a minute, it's not sharing yet.
Oh.
Hit share again. There it goes.
Okay. Are we in?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Okay, so for those of you that have a Google Maps account or a Google account, which pretty much everybody does, it's pretty simple. Let me just show you first what it does, and then I'll show you how you get there. So when you go to your Google Maps, you click on your menu, and then you go down here to your places. This is assuming you've already set up what I'll show you. But you go over here to your maps, and then, for example, I'm the Houston manager right now, so you click on the Houston buyers list. My first trip is in a couple weeks, so I have no idea where any of these customers are. This now is every single customer in the Houston buyers list. So what it allows me to do is to see in a nutshell where I am in retrospect to what I want to do. When I drop into a territory, you know, like when I went to Sarah's territory or when I was in San Jose or wherever I was, I have no idea where these customers are. So what it allows you to do is it allows you to see them all in a nutshell. If I click on one of them, it'll bring it up in the buyers list. It'll show me all the information for that customer so I can see it in a nutshell. I can see what they were ranked, and you can sort this buyers list a million different ways. So with that in mind, you can now plan your day, and you can see if you have one more customer you can see, but you don't know where any of them are, you can say, well, geez, I can go up here and I can see this customer, I can see that customer. And the biggest thing that I find from this is I can navigate from one to another. So Streets and Trips has its benefits. I never cared for it even when I first started because you can't navigate from one to another. If I go from 113 to 324, I don't know, I've got to punch the address in. I got to get on my laptop. It's a time waste. I can plot and go from one to the other, and I can just make my way very quickly through all these customers without having to input anything.
Show us how you would do that just real quick.
Okay, so let me get out of here. And down here, when we go back to the bottom, see down here in the bottom now the key is when I go back to my places, you go to maps, down here in the bottom it says create map. So if I go to create map, it's going to ask me a few questions. And this is where it's going to get a little questionable, and you can reach out to me and I'll work you through it. But basically the first thing you're going to do is you're going to import it. So you're going to go to import, and this is where you're going to find your buyers list. Before you do this though, what you need to do is you need to go to your buyers list. Let me just bring it up. Now if I go to the Houston buyers list and I open it up, it's going to import it. All right, fine. We'll just open it. And it's going to upload it. Now, what you're going to find is in the beginning, many of you are going to find your buyers list. I know, and Ted, you might want to give them a buyers list that's sorted with the columns that don't have those drop downs and those sortable, the sortable columns that you give them. Because when I was helping Mary do hers, it had you can sort the drop down. If you can take those tabs away so they're not duplicated, because what happens is if it says January 18 growth in January 18, if the columns are the same at the top, it won't sort very well. So you have to change your columns. And I don't have
That's okay. I understand what you mean.
Right. So make sure none of the columns are exactly the same or won't know how to sort it.
Yeah.
So then when you go to sort it, you're just going to go to address, city, state, zip, and you can put the 3-digit if you want, but I delete that column off mine. Go to continue, and then go to company name because that's what it's going to be titled as. And then just go to finish. Now it's going to load it, and it's going to plot all of those from your buyers list. So the key here is that not only does it do it this way, the biggest thing that'll happen is that you can add a layer. And what that simply means is that when you go through and sort your buyers list, sort out franchises and make a separate buyers list. Sort out zero buys, sort out however you want to do it. Doesn't matter. But once you do, you're just going to add a layer, and you're going to go back and do it exactly the same way you just inputted this. But you're going to change the color. Okay, so you know that red maybe is zero buys, blue is franchise, and however you want to color code it. The idea is that now while you're driving throughout throughout your area, you'll know that that particular shop was a zero buy. You better go see them, or however you want to sort your day, basically. So when I go back up here to the items itself, you can now just determine how you want to do it. You want to do a sequence of numbers, which gives you top to bottom. Obviously, number 1 to 402 customer. I don't usually label mine. You can. You can also do individual styles. It's up to you. So basically, how you decide you want to do it. I always use sequence of numbers. Biggest thing from here is here's how you color it. So once you add another layer, you're just going to go here, and you're going to change the color of it. And it's going to change everybody to a different color. So you're going to do everything exactly the same way. You're going to retitle it. Sorry. You're going to retitle it to whatever you want it to say. From there, it's really pretty simple. When you have rows that addresses are messed up for whatever reason, go into there and go to the top, and it'll tell you which ones are incorrect and fix these. Obviously, you can see some clear reasons why. Once you fix those, they'll plot them in. If you don't want them there, just right-click on it and delete it. If it's a customer that's a name or somebody you don't want on there. So the biggest key to this map is that now not only can I see where all my customers are, but I can sort it 15, 100 different ways depending upon how you want to sort your buyers list. Top 100, whatever. So as you add layers, you can see all your customers. You can click on them, and it'll tell you what their buyers list information is. So the key is that it'll show up on your computer, your phone. Because when I'm traveling, I have one work phone, I have my personal phone. Well, I use the maps from my personal phone, and all the information will come up, and I can navigate with the personal phone. I can still take customer calls while I'm driving. So all the information's here. It's just so much quicker and less time. It takes up less time to do throughout your day. It will make your day more efficient. So you can see where you're off to. So.
All right, that's perfect. I appreciate that. Again, guys, this is just an option. Some of you already have a way of doing things and everything else. I just want to make sure that we have every tool at our disposal to be able to use to help everybody. So if you want to use this or want more information, please call Kevin. He is there willing to help as possible or as he can. Okay, so being that you can actually put this, plot it on your computer, transfer it to your phone, that to me is a wonderful thing to be able to do. Okay, questions?
Will that also map, just like Streets and Maps, the fastest route, or the best, like the most efficient route as well?
Yeah, you can. You navigate from one customer to another customer.
Okay,
that's a huge thing. And it'll
that's why I'm asking.
Your Google account. Yeah.
Okay.
Mary has that on her phone.
She did.
When we went around, it worked great, especially with all of the construction traffic around here. We actually were able to navigate it really well.
Yeah, I plotted it for her before she came and saw you. She was supposed to have an email from me, but I don't think she got it to show you how to do it. So
right.
just get with me. It's super easy. Once you learn, the only hiccup on the whole thing is that the column headings on your buyers list, if they're duplicated, it'll give you an error because it doesn't know a lot. It's trying to sort two different rows. So you just have to change them to something else. Just get with me because once you type in January 18, no matter what date, it'll come up January 18. So that's
what's your number, Kevin?
520-345. 2175.
2175?
2175, yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
No problem. So yeah, Charlene, that was that, and you can see all your customers are within like 5 miles of each other. It's just insane.
Wow.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Yeah. And that's why Ted likes that, is because, I've showed him a bunch of times. I just showed the South region, the whole, those that cared to learn. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, if you're interested, then it'll make your day a lot more efficient. You can see everything right there in a nutshell, especially customers you didn't know. You can put new customers. The world's your oyster. You can sort it however you want. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. But yeah, get with me. If you want to learn how to do it, I can run you through it. That's not a big deal. Peace, King.
Thank you.
Thank you, bud. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything else that I can answer for you right now? Chuck, you have your hand raised.
Any word on when we're getting together with 3M?
No, unfortunately, I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I'm hoping to have a conversation with Pat either today or tomorrow to try to get this figured out. I believe he's meeting with, he might be meeting with one of the other regions this week. So I'm not really sure as far as that goes. They've been doing a lot of things. They've been in meetings and everything else the past couple weeks, and then he was on vacation. So it's pretty much been put on the back burner for a little bit. But I will find our warehouses somewhere in most of in maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them.
And then price points, you know, as far as like you and I talked last week regarding 60-40, 70-30, their 75-20 window perf, are the price points going to be at least comparable to what we have now, or what are we looking at as far as price points go?
Meaning price points meaning
comparability to, let's say, what we carry now. So for example, our 60-40 versus their 60-40.
Well, again, everybody's a little bit different.
Okay.
I don't know what their price point is on that. If it's not in their catalog, it doesn't mean that we don't have it available, but it will add extra time to get it in for your customer or to ship to your customer. Okay. So we will send, or you will send an email to Yvonne, and I'll get together with you on who that is a little bit.
Okay.
So that you guys know to send an email, find out what the cost or price and availability would be, and she can actually answer that for you. Okay?
Their liner, just so you know, Ted, I mean, just from feeling their product in the past, their backing and their liners are amazing. So it's a very easy adhesion, like we talked about this earlier last week. They make a really good product.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. And we don't use them or sell them nearly as much as we could. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't know enough about what they actually carry. So that's why I wanted to make sure you guys got that, the booklets that they sent out, and also to be able to go through it on this meeting that we did have today.
Just wanted to give you some input on it because it's a great product. It really is truly a good product.
Thank you, Lance.
Hey, typically it takes about 2 weeks on special orders, just FYI.
Okay. So that's a possibility depending on where they have it and everything else. I agree.
Okay.
So 2 weeks is it's not a good lead time, but at the same time, it may be something that I don't know how we would actually make that better. I don't think we can, but that's all up to Continental Graphics and everything else. So thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, very good. Guys, have a great day. Call me let me know how I can help and everything else. Kevin, you had something? No, I'm sorry. Oh, Lance, you had something else?
Can I give you a call after the conference?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Guys, have a great day. Have a great week. Oh, by the way, I am going to be starting Friday, I'm going to be traveling, and all the following week with limited access. I'll be going to Portland. Is that right, Lance? You're coming to Portland?
Yeah, we have our Wednesday and Thursday, we have the demo at
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be traveling and starting Friday because I got to go to Tulsa for the weekend. So, but I'm going to be traveling Friday and all the way through the following Friday. So just keep that in mind. If you have anything, I'll still be able to answer, but at the same time, it's going to be slow to respond. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you.
I got one more thing for you guys.
Oh, yes.
So I did do the 3M meeting in Dallas, but while I had those guys there, whether you use the Streets or the Google Maps program is totally up to you. But a bunch of the reps are kind of skeptical. Oh, I know where all my customers are. Oh, once they showed it in a meeting setting, it blew their minds. So even if you don't want to use it, load it up and do it the first time so you can actually see it. Don't blow it off. see it, and that may change your opinion if you're choosing not to do it. You'll actually, it'll be pretty striking. Someone like Angel, my God, her territory's got to be giant. Sarah, I already know what hers looks like because I've already done it. So it's pretty helpful. So at least load it once and take a look at it and see it. That's all I got to say.
And when I do the buyers list this time, I will separate or change the names of those lists so that it doesn't have a problem with it. Okay.
Thank you.
Question. Go ahead.
Kevin, if you have new customers, do you need to input in?
If you have, well, you get the new customer. Okay, so on top of the Google Maps, if you are, let's say you're searching for a customer. Let's say you're within your phone, and you're like, man, this guy just gave me a tip. I know where there's a new customer. You can search within, while you're in My Maps, you can search for that customer. It'll bring it up, and then you can save it with a star, and it'll give it its own flag within your My Maps right there.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can drop it right in. Or if you have, Ted sends out the new customers, or as you get new customer emails, you can just type it right in, load it in, and it'll flag it right there. So,
Okay.
and you could, you know what I mean? So you can totally adjust on the fly throughout the month.
Okay.
So it's easy. Yeah, for sure.
So you have to set up on a Google account first, right?
Yeah, just set it up as la.sales at gmail.com.
Okay. I think I have it before. I just don't remember.
Yeah, or you can make it your personal one. It doesn't matter. You can. It's free. So just if you want Ted, in a perfect world, Ted would do all this for everybody. Right, Ted? Yeah,
Thanks a lot for putting all that work on me.
There's some smiles. Well, you know what? I mean, even
the expression on his face.
It's so easy. Yeah. Now I'm gonna catch hell. My phone's gonna be ringing. It's so easy to do.
Actually, I had Charlene put together an account for lv.sales@gmail.com. Is that right, Charlene? Is that what we named it?
Yeah, we did. We just didn't go so far as to getting it transferred over to Maps.
Right. Okay, so I tried it for AQ a long time ago, and it was already taken. So I had to do AQ.sales with the zip code of the warehouse. So that's a possibility. You may have to do that if yours particular email address is already taken up in Google. Okay, so it's just something that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. Questions? Get with me also, and if you need help in setting up a Google account, that's not a problem. I can help you out with that. Get that taken care of for you.
Yeah, just give me a call, guys. I'll be more than happy to help you. It's super easy.
Thank you again, Kevin.
Thanks,
you,
Kevin.
everybody.
No problem, guys.
You had anything else? Okay. Have a great day. Have a great week. Talk
Thanks,
to y'all soon.
Have a good day.
You too.
See you guys.
Do better, will you?
Yeah, seriously. I just want my voice back. A week with.
Right.
Uh,
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.